All right, welcome to the webinar here today. We are going to be talking. I just realized I did my traditional talk too fast. As I've been recording videos lately, um, as I try to go in and edit the videos later, I realize that I talk so fast together with my sentences that there's no break where I can pause a little bit so that I can come back and cut it and take away that part. But I don't do much of that with these, but that's a habit I'm trying to break. So it's funny I brought that in there. So anyway, welcome to the webinar. Pause. What we're going to talk about today is dispelling a few myths about online selling. And so I've made a few bullet points here, numbered list actually. We could change it to bullet points so I'm not a liar. How's that? Yeah, I've made some bullet points here. And what this really comes down to is a change of mindset. As I've been coaching people over the years, one of the most difficult things I see for people is to retrain their brain to change from a consumer mindset to a business mindset. And that's one of the biggest challenges you're going to have as you get this started for yourself is to become business minded, to change your thought patterns and your thought process from a consumer to a business owner. And I think one of the big takeaways from today is change your thinking to what if good instead of what if bad. And what I mean by that is most of the time you have time probably to work on your business. You could do more than you're doing. We could all do more than we're doing, but something stops us. And that thing that stops us is fear. Okay? There's fear of something keeping us from moving forward. And what that comes down to is what if bad? What if it doesn't sell? What if it's not unique enough? What if it's not popular enough? What if my price isn't good enough? What if people don't like it, right? What if I don't get sales? So this becomes one of the basic parts of changing our mindset so that we can succeed. If we throw out all that fear, just throw it out. Don't listen to the fear. It doesn't matter. Okay? If we sit there and what if ourselves to the point where we're spending time researching, but we're not creating any listings, we're not putting anything out there, well, then it doesn't matter. We've already lost, right? And so we have to take a chance. Creating your own business is not about playing it safe. It's not about defining the perfect way to move forward. That's not what it's about. Creating your own business and succeeding at your own business is all about taking a chance, testing, trying, and learning from your mistakes. That's what it's about. It becomes more a process of growth rather than a process of making everything perfect and then moving forward. It's not going to be perfect. We're going to learn as we make mistakes along the way. So just change it to what if good. What if this thing I find does sell? What if it is unique enough? What if it doesn't matter whether it's popular, right? What if price doesn't matter? And so I want to go in and just show you, and we're going to focus on eBay here in the beginning, but I'm also going to show some Google searches to help with this. And hopefully I can get you to insert this new thought process and pattern into your brain so that you are understanding that there's plenty of what if good, okay? So let's start here on eBay, and I was doing some searching here for honing oil. And so we'll just start with that. We see honing oil here selling from $2-3. Looks like around $3 to $109. Now, of course, there's different sizes and brands and all that kind of stuff. But what if we change this and say 2 ounce? So we put 2 OZ in there. We've got 11 results that come up. And This is a fantastic example right here. So here's one, $2.95 and free shipping. I don't know why anybody would do that, because that's the cost of shipping, and after fees and everything, you're losing money. So I don't know what they're thinking. It's a loss leader, I suppose. But right below it here, we have another one that sold for $5.40, almost double the price, exact same item. I mean, it's 2 ounces of Gatco honing oil, 2 ounces of Gatco honing oil, right? It's the same thing. Down here we've got, that's 4 ounces, that's a little bit more, but that one also is a set of 2. That one's a 4. Here's another 2, $6.21. You know, how come this guy can sell it for $6.21 and this person got less than 3 for it, right? So that's literally double in the price. So just a quick search on just about any product out there, you're going to find that there are people selling it for higher prices and lower prices. It goes all across the board. All right, so a question was asked here, when we start, should we research the pricing, go somewhere in the middle, find out if people are willing to pay more or less, or average? I think that's the general question. Is that right? So what I'm going to say there is, part of this depends on the strategy that you're using. Well, it all depends. The answer I'm going to give depends on the strategy you're using. So I'm going to give 2 answers. Number one, if you have a product that you're able to let's say you can purchase this product right here for $1. Okay, so let's just say that. And these are low priced items that we're dealing with here. I would never suggest you sell a $5 item. I mean, we want to work with products that have higher prices, preferably above $40 or $50, so that there's room for a profit margin. Instead of making $1, you're making at least 5. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm going to say. Don't take this example as what to sell. We don't want to be selling $2 to $5 items. However, if we can see that somebody's selling this item for $5 and we have access to be able to buy it for $1, the first thing we're going to do, that's when you go in and do the research and say, okay, how often is it selling for that higher price? And there I'm going to want to search for the specific exact item. And so we would put the brand name in there. And so there we look at it and say, okay, well, there's one that sold for 6, one that sold for 5, a little over 5. And those are the only 2 that are the exact item. These are higher quantity, higher ounces. So out of the 3 of the actual exact same item, 2 of them sold for higher. How often? How recently? Well, December, February. So this is an item where I'd look at it and research it ahead of time and say, I'm not going to pay $1 for these because there's not enough money in it, right? If it were selling for $10 or $20 a piece, and some of them may be only selling for 5 or 10, but more of them selling, higher, and they were selling more often, then I'd probably do it. If they're selling for $20 or more and I can get it for $1, even if I'm only going to sell 1 a month, me personally, I would probably go ahead and buy that and sit on the inventory a little bit. I wouldn't buy a whole bunch of them. I'm not going to get 100 of them, but shoot, spend $10 and I know that I'm going to turn that $10 into 200 eventually. Sure. So you do that research if you're looking to actually physically buy something. However, if we're looking at this as a drop ship approach, where we just want to get as many items up there as we can from other stores, they're going to ship them for us, then we're not going to worry about this research. All we're going to do is look at the keywords that are there and we're going to list our item. We're not worried about the price because we know we're not going to compete on price with a dropship model. Okay, and so this is one of those, this takes us back to this list, and not only what if it doesn't sell, but it has to be the best price. We cannot stop ourselves from listing just because we don't think it's the best price. And here's a couple of searches to prove that, and we're going to change this. We're going to look for a different product here. So Let's do leather briefcase. Just for kicks, we're going to throw that out there. So when we do a search for the words leather briefcase, let's just say somebody wanted that, that's what they're searching for. Maybe they'll make it more specific. They might say brown leather briefcase, they might say black, I don't know. But we're just going to start with leather briefcase and wait for the internet to respond, apparently. That's crazy. I haven't seen, well, while that's going, I want to pull up Google here and change our what if good search to leather. Whoops. We'll let Google find it for me since I can't seem to do it. There we go. So this is an example I wanted to share. We've got 134 million pages of results that Google says are related to these terms leather briefcase. Okay, so this is Google is a bigger audience. If you can get ranked on Google, that's a lot better than being ranked on eBay over here. eBay's a smaller audience. I'm going to refresh this. I'm not sure why that's. Must be eBay servers that are having trouble right now. But the same general idea can be shown here on Google. We just have a wider audience, a much broader audience. So we can see in the ads right up here that we have several different briefcases that are leather briefcases, and we have a lot of different prices. We got this $89.99 price over there at Overstock, and then we've got one right next to it for $259.95. And granted, there's some differences in branding and whatnot, but realistically, they do the same thing. They're very similar. Why would somebody buy this over this, right? Or this one here, $199, right? And then we've got this handmade one over here for $86. That one right there looks quite similar to this one right here. $259 at Buffalo Jackson, $86 at Etsy, right? So why would anybody buy this one over this one? But we can see from the feedback score here, from the rating on this, that there have been a lot of people buying, and not just 74, because as you well know, we don't all go back and do a rating on a product when we buy it, right? We're going to be lucky if we get 10% of the people who buy giving us feedback. So along those lines, if 10% did give feedback, then there were 700 of these sold. 700 people paid $259.95 for a leather briefcase that they could have gotten for $86. All right. So why are they buying that? Well, part of this, and I'm going to go, I'm going to pull up another example site here. This is something I learned from one of the coaches recently here. Steve has a webinar where he talks about this, and I didn't even know this thing existed until I saw his webinar. But it's a internet map, and I'm not even going to put. I was going to do United States in there, but we're not going to do that. I'm just going to zoom in on this. Oh, there we go. It zooms with my mouse. I need to get rid of those. I thought I had to double click to zoom in, but I don't. So, whoa, come on Google, we know you're a monster, but you don't need it that big. All right, so this is interesting. I want you to see this because one of the comments that was made earlier, and as we zoom in, we don't see Amazon here at all, do we? And one of the comments I heard from you earlier was most people go to Amazon to buy. Well, this has proven you wrong, okay? Now, granted, this is overall traffic for the entire world, but yes, there are a lot of people who shop on Amazon, absolutely. A lot of commerce traffic goes through Amazon. However, there are a lot of people who go to Google, and more go to Google than any other website in the entire world. Next to Google is Facebook. Next to that is YouTube, which is owned by guess who? Google. Right? And then next to that is Yahoo. Here's Bing, this little circle over here. Okay, ask.com is back there in the corner. So Google has the monster's share of traffic. All right, and there's another Google right there that's just in a different country. So when it comes to where do people buy, well, a lot of people are influenced or go to Google. Well, I'd say Google is probably going to be a primary place where people are going to start shopping. That's where they're going to look for shopping. Yahoo is another search engine where they're going to look for things that they're ready to buy. Bing, Ask, those are all search engines where people start searching. Facebook, yeah, it's more of a social platform, not so much of a commerce platform, but it has come up in the rankings for commerce. There's a lot of advertising going on Facebook, and we are definitely influenced by what we see when we go out on Facebook, right? And there are a lot of advertisers, a lot of companies doing great ads, great videos that are shared on Facebook that educate people about their product and get people to come and buy the product. All right, then we've got YouTube over here. Again, huge influencer where we can advertise our product, promote our product, give videos of our product. Those videos can then be shared on Facebook and can also be found on Google. And so, this is the monster's share of traffic right there is Google. So when somebody is ready to buy something, this is usually the first place they're going to go, okay? Now, another statistic to understand, and this is in one of those webinars out there as well, is to understand where most people go. And when you come to Google, it turns out, according to their statistics, it's not just the ads that get all the traffic. These are ads up here from Google Shopping. These are ads right here. But below that, this first place position right here, saddlebackleather.com, they are going to end up getting about 53% of the traffic for this phrase, okay? Because they're at position number 1 organically, naturally ranking. And look at that, they rank above Amazon. They're going to get more traffic on that phrase than Amazon is, okay? So out of 134 million page results that Google says are relevant to leather briefcase, who's going to make a lot of those sales? These guys right here. Is it because they have the lowest price? No, it doesn't have anything to do with price. It's all about ranking. And ranking happens because of the keywords they use and other aspects that you'll learn later as you start learning about websites, but it's all about where you rank. So when it comes to eBay, which unfortunately has stopped, so I'm not sure, maybe I can try a new eBay page and see if we can get it to load. Maybe they got hacked and they're just having problems, I don't know. Or it might just be that particular page. Yeah, it was just that page, that tab. So on eBay, we've got 46,834 results matching leather briefcase. All right. Now we can put other keywords in there. We want to fill out our titles as much as possible. But here's a curious thing. When somebody puts more keywords in there, okay, we're going to go from 46,800 results down to 33,000. We shaved off over 10,000 results by adding one keyword. All right. So if our listing still comes up, if it carries that keyword, then our listing is still in the runnings for this. Okay. If we want to, if somebody does a search for with handle and they're real specific, boom. Now we've only got 43 results that we're looking at. Okay, so if mine is one of those results, I have a chance of selling, a much better chance than a lot of those other people who didn't put those keywords in my title, in their title, right? And so it's not about price. It's about our titles. It's not about uniqueness all the time. There's somebody out there that'll buy everything. And again, if we go just look at sold listings, we can prove that. All right. Anything will sell. right? There's a variety of different things here that have sold for all kinds of different prices. Okay, so the potential is there. What we've got to do is just get out there and try, because we don't know until we try. Now, not only that, but we can do testing as we go and find out what works best as we test different keywords and we fill up that title. This title right here is a much better title than this one right here, simply because this carries more keywords. It's longer. This one right here is a better title because it's longer. All right, so if somebody searches for smooth leather briefcase, they're not going to see this one, right? Because they didn't have smooth in there. So we don't want to just throw any word out there, but we want keywords that seem to work well. And so what I would do to come up with keywords is I would do a general keyword search with only 1 or 2 keywords, like leather briefcase, looking at the sold items, because they did something right. They sold, right? So generally speaking, the assumption, and I know I'm making an assumption, but the assumption is they have the keywords that people are looking for. And so that's how we can find our keywords. And as long as we get as many most valuable keywords out there, or the keywords that our potential customer is using to find our product, it doesn't matter what our price is. If ours is the one that comes up at the top, they're going to buy from us. Now here's the other thing to look at. When we do that search, again, understanding keywords and how search algorithms work and everything. So we've got leather briefcase here, 46,835 results. I'm a consumer. How many of those you think I'm going to look at before I buy? Am I going to go through 46,000 results before I pull the trigger on something? No way. I'm not going to do it. So again, if our listing ranks at the top, if it comes up at the top for whatever reason, there's a number of different things, but keywords is one of the main areas, then we're going to get that sale. It doesn't matter if there's another one that's selling for a lower price somewhere on eBay. They aren't going to go through all of them. If we get enough items up there in our account, we're going to start seeing sales strictly because of the numbers. We are going to see sales. It does not matter what our price is. It doesn't matter how unique it is. It doesn't matter whether it's something we like or whether it's something somebody else likes. If we get enough products up there, we're going to start seeing sales. Okay? So back to our myths. All right, another good question that came up that is a myth is, won't they wonder why it came in a Walmart, Amazon, insert retailer here, box? Okay, no. The bottom line is 90% of the time, no. People aren't going to wonder about it. They're not going to worry about it. They wanted an item. They got the item. Most people don't even think twice about what the container was for that item. They open the box, they get the item they wanted. Oh, that's the item I wanted. The box goes in the trash without another thought. Okay, so that's important for you to think about it and recognize, because the only reason that's coming into your mind, the only reason that's popping into your head right now, it's like a magic trick, like sleight of hand. And if you know how a sleight of hand trick works, then when you're watching the magician on stage do that trick, you're looking at that saying, I know how he does that. But everybody else in the audience is like, oh, wow, right? Well, the only reason it's not an oh, wow moment for you is because you know how the trick works. The same thing is happening here. You know that you're ordering this from somewhere else, and so you're putting that worry in the back of your head. Oh no, what if they realize what happened? Well, they don't realize it. They aren't even thinking about, again, all they're thinking is, I want my leather briefcase, and a week later, they get a package on the porch, they cut it open. Oh, there's my leather briefcase. Fantastic. Throw this box in the garbage, kids. They got their leather briefcase, because that's all they're worrying about. That's all they're thinking about. 99% of the time, it's a non-issue. They're not concerned about it. Now, sure, you want to do everything you can to avoid them seeing the invoice or anything like that. But even then, I'm telling you, most people aren't going to look at it. I don't care what you do when you get a box. Me, I don't look at the invoice. I don't look at the packing slips. My neighbor, I've got a neighbor that gives me boxes all the time for my eBay business. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen a box that comes from them with the invoice and packing slip still attached to the outside of the box. They never looked at that. They pulled the item out of the box they wanted and got rid of the box. Okay, and that's human nature. That's what most people do. So throw out all these thoughts and ideas of what you think might happen. Again, don't think what if bad, think what if good. Okay, what if it sells? What if it's what they're looking for? What if it's popular enough? What if the price doesn't matter? What if they don't care what box it came in? That's all I want you to think about. And if you'll change your mindset to think what if good and forget about all these myths that you think are going to stop you from selling, then you're going to be more productive, because then instead of analyzing everything and spending all your time that you've set aside for your business analyzing and wondering if it'll work and not doing anything, now you're changing to, I'm going to do this, and you're just going out there and you're creating listings and creating listing after listing after listing. Okay? And that's what needs to happen. Now I'm going to give you another bonus here. Another thing that will happen as you do this, when you start just getting out there and listing things and you're actually doing the work, pretty soon what you're going to find is you'll see things that you didn't expect because you're doing the work, and you'll find other things to list. For example, right here on this page, I see this cool looking leather backpack over here. It's not a brown leather briefcase. It's not what I was looking for, but I look at that and say, I wonder if I could find something like that and list it on eBay. Now I've got a totally new product that I wasn't even thinking about, right? And so now I go and search on Google, and we'll just switch this page to a Google search, and we'll do a search for black leather backpack and run a search. And oh, well, what about a purse? Well, I didn't think about that. Well, all of a sudden I've got another product idea in mind, right? Oh, well, what about shipping from Nordstrom? Hadn't even thought about that. Well, maybe that would work. Now I've got another supplier, right? So as you get out and just start doing the work, you're going to find new products. I've done that so many times with my business, where just getting out and doing the work, I've created products that I never even thought could happen, because I'm just leaving my mind, I'm allowing my mind to be creative, and I'm opening the box, getting rid of all the walls that keep me in my container, and creative thought happens. And this is a great example. I just sold this today again. This cost me about 10 to 20 cents to make, and a minute of my time for this little product. And I've sold 86 of them for $12 a piece. Okay, and that's just a dumb little product, a do-it-yourself thing that I create myself, just because somewhere years ago I came into this idea of a frictionless bow drill socket for people who want to learn how to do primitive bow drill fires, and I thought, that's interesting. I wonder, would somebody buy that? And I threw it up there. I tried, I tested it. Sure enough, somebody bought it. 86 somebodies now. Okay. And so I've made, I don't know, what is that? My math skills aren't the greatest. But if we take, is that 12 bucks? Actually, let's do this. Just 10 bucks, that makes it easier. So 860 bucks I've made. Now, maybe 800, because I've got some fees and stuff. So 800 bucks I've made from just a silly little idea that I decided to test and see, what if good? What if it works? All right. I've got a lot of products like that I have just stumbled into because I allow creative thought. I go out and do what if good instead of what if it doesn't work. What if this works? Hey, let's test it. Boom, put it up there, walk away. Do something else, right? And I leave it up there and see what happens. And that's what I want you to do with your business. Get out there and just put the time into actually doing. Don't analyze, don't think, just go and do listings, create listings on eBay. And as you do that, you're going to find things that'll sell that you might have thought nobody will ever buy that, but you put it out there and somebody buys it. All right, so one last note here for the webinar. Let's do a search for my product. This is the one I invented, the Viper Sharp. So if we do a search for Viper Sharp on Google, one thing I learned from asking a customer the other day why he bought on eBay, he said he went to Google, did a search on Google for Viper Sharp, and eBay was the first listing that came up. And look at that, eBay's over here advertising for me. I didn't pay for this ad to be there, but there's my my product right there. So anyway, just a quick note. I realized after talking to that guy, I better get my ad back up here because here for my keyword, Webstaurant store, who isn't selling my knife sharpener, is ranking at the top for my brand. Amazon is ranking at the top for my brand. Now that's okay because I sell it on Amazon. But what I wanted to show you is I do have this link right up here. I've got this one here from eBay, so eBay's advertising for me twice, and then I've got my own homepage here. I've got a product page. I've got the Amazon page. So 1, 2, 3. I've got my reviews up on YouTube that are coming up. I've got Blade HQ who sells it for me, so 4, we'll call 5 results. Then I've got eBay again, 6, 7 with my Kickstarter. And then a review page there. So I own the first page of Google. Okay, so if I throw an ad up in here on my brand, then that's going to help me even more. So again, out of 11,000 search results, how deep are people going to go if they're searching for this? If that's what they're looking for, they're not going to go real deep. They're going to buy something from one of these first links. And so I need to own as much of that real estate as possible. So with eBay, what if I have 1,000 different items listed instead of just 10? How good are my chances of one of those being sold, right? Or 10 or 100 of those being sold. The more items I have up there, the more chances I have of being sold. Just like this here with this one keyword, the more times I show up for that one keyword, the more chances I have to be sold. If you get more items up on eBay, it's a numbers game. I mean, that's what it comes down to, guys. It's a numbers game. The more you do, the more you're going to sell. And the more you sell and the more you do to create listings, the more things you find that you can sell, the more surprises you find that, oh, there's this selling on eBay for 50 bucks. I can buy it over here for 30. Let's list that, right? You're going to find more of those things the more active you are at actually listing and seeing what sells. So that's where you want to focus your time. Get out there, do the best titles you can, do as many listings as you can. Do not let any of these myths stop you from listing. If you catch yourself thinking, what if it doesn't sell? Throw that out and replace it with, what if it does? And say it out loud. Okay, you've got to change your mindset. So say it. What if it does work? What if it does sell? What if it is unique enough? What if it is popular? What if I can compete with the popular things? What if my price doesn't matter? What if they don't care what box it comes in? Say those things out loud whenever you have the doubts. Do not let the doubt keep you from doing the test to see if it will work. Go ahead and do the test. Get the listings up there. That's how you'll see success. Okay.